Hey everybody, it's Andrew at Sports Card Tech. Thanks for checking out the very first video review from Sports Card Tech. We are taking a look today at the PWCC Marketplace Vault. If you haven't already, you can visit sportscardtech.com to check out the written review that we've posted. This video review will cover a lot of the same things, except of course it will have a video and visual components and audio components to it. So go ahead and check out the review on the website. This video will be added to the review here just after it's completed. If you are familiar with PWCC, it's probably because you've seen something that they've sold on eBay or an image like this one here with the PWCC branding on the bottom. They are the largest, I believe, the largest consignor seller of sports cards via eBay, probably not in the entire world as far as sports card sales go, but definitely as far as high dollar cards go, expensive, graded, rare cards, particularly pre-war, which is where the name comes from, pre-war card collector, I believe is the original business name. And so PWCC, very, very well known in the industry for the volume of cards that they sell via eBay. One of the advantages to selling via PWCC instead of straight through eBay is that the fees themselves are a lot lower. And this video is not here to promote selling through PWCC specifically. I will open up the list of fees here just so it's easy to see. There you are. But for the most part, 15%, the average card that someone would usually sell on eBay. If you have more expensive cards, it's definitely a worthwhile thing to consider just for the lower fees alone. But for the most part, the 15% fee for most people for the average card price is very reasonable, especially if you're selling a graded card between $50 and $200 market value. So a lot of people go to PWCC as a seller, but by far the most innovative thing they have done in the last several years is open their vault service. So what the vault is quite literally what it is a vault. So they've included on their website here a variety of pictures of the construction. There's actually a time lapse. I've included that video in the article I posted as well. And you can see that this is a real structure, a bank grade vault, just like you would use as a safe deposit box or that kind of thing. And this thing is, fire safe, I'm sure bomb safe. I don't want to speak for its specific level of safety, but it's much safer than the closet that I kept my cards in previous to this. And obviously it's a very, secure building. And most importantly, it is insured. So if you store any cards, any valuables in the PWCC vault, those valuables will be insured for their market value. So the way that the vault works, it's actually pretty straightforward. You can send cards into the vault straight from PWCC, no surprise. So if you buy a card that PWCC sells, you can send it straight into your vault. It's probably, a matter of moving it down the hall, if you will, within their building. At least that's the way it appears. And then the other way to do that is if you create a vault account, you will get an address, and that address is in Tigard, Oregon, which is just outside of Portland. And it is an address that has your name, and it's your vault address, where if you use that as your shipping address, you will have a card mailed to the vault. So I have been keeping my eye on one of these Ichiro rookies, the Bowman Chrome rookies that is in Japanese on the back, which to me is just so cool. He's such an iconic player. The PSA 10 population is pretty low. It's like 36, 32. So this is not a cheap card. This is one I've been saving for a while. And the huge advantage, if you weren't already familiar with this, Oregon does not charge sales tax as a state. So when I purchased this card, the shipping address was to my PWCC vault. And so let's just do some very quick math, but 2069 times 0.0875, I believe, in Austin, Texas, or is the state tax we would pay. So I did not pay $233.54 of sales tax that I would have typically paid. I did, of course, pay the $420 shipping. And I sent this card to the PWCC Vault account that I have. So the primary reason people end up using the Vault is saving money on sales tax. I'm not going to pretend to be a lawyer. My brother is. I'll ask him someday. But there are not specific implications to doing this, meaning like the business they're running, PWCC as a vault service, is totally legal. If you're somebody who knows a lot more about sales tax laws, maybe there's something about the way that this works that isn't, that is operating in a gray area. I have not pursued that research myself. I'm happy as a collector, as an investor for cards like this, that I want to own this card forever. There's no sale date in my mind. This is one that I want forever. Ichiro is such an iconic player. Just the number of reasons, to me personally, I'm not a Mariners fan. In fact, he's one of the few players who's not on one of the teams I grew up following or love, that I just have a special place for in my heart. And this Japanese backing version is just so cool and unique. I think it's just such a cool card, and it's such a low pop. So to me, this is one I want to hold. This is one I want to put in my vault for the purpose of hanging on to it for a long time. So we'll look now actually at my vault. Let's take a look at my actual vault. There is a demo on the website. If you go to PWCCmarketplace.com and you click on vault, you mouse over the vault menu, you go to demo, you can check out a sweet vault account that anyone would probably be really happy to have. Some of the most iconic cards of all time are included in this demo. Those T206 Cobbs, Gaudy Babe Ruth. They made sure to diversify with some hockey and some basketball. Walter Payton rookie. So tons of, obvious iconic cards that almost anyone would be happy to have. You can see this example on the website live at any time. I thought it would be a little bit more interesting to actually check out a real person's vault. And so this is my vault. This is my actual vault as of this moment, August 1st or 2nd, whatever today is. And it's funny because as I look at this, I've mostly seen the cards in this vault on the internet. I have not touched them in person. Not any of the cards on the screen. I'm going to scroll through this account here. So a couple of Griffey rookies, couple Kobe Topps rookies, Adrian Beltre's first Bowman, which is a card I think is only destined to go higher and higher and higher. I'll get to the prices that you see on the right in a moment. For the most part, the price on the right is what I paid for the card. It says insured value, which is the number that PWCC uses to actually, the amount that they actually insure the cards in your vault against. So, God forbid, something happens to these cards or the vault itself, that insured value is the amount that they would reimburse me as the owner of these cards, these assets in their vault. If you have any idea of the market value of these Griffies or of these Kobe's, you'll be looking at this and going, that is, not accurate to current market value, which is a great thing for me as an owner, right? These are probably well under half what they would currently sell for today. The cards here are all listed on the screen. That is definitely one of the primary complaints, issues, challenges with being a PWCC Vault customer, but it is not a bad thing. The reason it's not a bad thing that your insured value isn't totally accurate to current market value is that the insured value, this $606, that amount is assigned by PWCC when your card is added into their system. Their team researches the market value, which at the time when I bought these two cards, that was the market value. That is the amount that I paid for each of these cards, and I bought them in PWCC auctions that were on eBay. So I bought them and I didn't pay sales tax, or that is the true price that it cost on eBay, and that is what it cost to keep them in my vault from that point forward, which is one of the advantages if you are someone who's a fan of PWCC. There are many people who are not. That's totally fine. I'm not here to really choose sides or even, try to advocate specifically for them or defend them. I'm a huge fan of this vault service. The review, I guess, that I'm providing is more just an overview of how this thing works and the things I think that are exciting about it, as well as some of the things that I think are weaknesses or shortcomings at the moment for sure. So back to the advantage of the insured value being lower than market value is the amount that I'm charged. So I'm charged to keep these cards in the vault one time as an intake value. So I was charged something like 1.5%. I don't have the numbers in front of me, sorry, but I was charged a fee based upon that $606 to take the card into the system, and then every month a 0.25 or a 0.5% fee of this insured value. So at the end of the day, if this value is understating true market value, the insured value is actually lower, then you are going to be paying less to store that card than it would cost if it was accurate. But of course, if you look at the totals of your portfolio, for example, this 17.6K number, while yeah, that's not a small number. It doesn't really give you good context into, well, what did I pay for these cards? What are they worth today? What's sort of the profit loss situation? It's not a great portfolio tool. It is a vault. It is a storage service, and it's really, really, really good for that. So the complaints I have, a lot of the things I consider shortcomings or potential negatives about being a vault customer are not so much downsides to using the storage service. They're things that I think could be improved really easily to make this just, a very powerful tool for managing, your entire portfolio, but primarily the things that you actually have in the vault. So in here, I have a handful of cards. I'm a big Angels fan. There's a lot of Trout, a lot of Ohtani, a Trout Ermsey card you'll see from the Project 2020 set. And within this whole vault area, you can sort from these columns that you see available. But what's most interesting is going to the actual card page themselves or itself. The coolest thing about the PWCC Vault is that it provides super high resolution scans. So this isn't even the full res version. Let's go ahead and click on the full res button. Open this bad boy to full screen. We can get like super close, like stupid close to the corners. You can see like a hair on the card in the upper left there from the scan. I sure hope it's not on the card. But again, yeah, I've never seen any of these cards in person. I have seen a handful of them that I mailed into the account myself, but I have not seen most of the cards in my vault in person because I purchased them somewhere online and mailed them straight to the vault so that I didn't pay sales tax. Assuming I paid somewhere in the family of 15 to 20K for these cards over time, that's a lot of money saved in sales tax, right? So a huge advantage if you're somebody who's buying investment grade cards, if you're spending more than a few $100 on cards, or you own more than a few $100 worth of cards that you are storing, this is something to consider. So when you're purchasing cards that are expensive, the savings on sales tax is a huge reason to be potentially to be a vault customer. But the coolest thing that I've ended up doing besides just keeping my cards there or mailing them there to save on sales tax and store them safely, I've been using PWCC's selling services to basically turn cards into other cards into more cards. So sent to auction. Let's take a look at the list of cards that I have sent to auction. So, wow, 55 different cards since I've been a customer of the vault. All of these are cards that, in my mind, I intended on keeping in the vault, but they had a change in market value, or I had a change in strategy, and that's how portfolios work. That's how investing works. That's what's nice about making cards themselves a tangible asset, like a liquid asset, treating them like you can other investment vehicles. Where, for example, there's no more picture of this card once you send it out. But this Derek Jeter card here, this classic card, it was the first time I've ever had this happen. It's the potential risk of buying online without looking at a card in person. It's a PSA 10 card with a super low population. When that card came into the PWCC vault after I bought it, and it had that super high resolution scan, it was super easy to see that the card was damaged within the holder, within the slab, but it had a chip on the side. So once someone looked at it, without just the crappy scan on eBay that I bought it from, without worrying too much about asking the seller for more pictures, I just trusted it's, PSA 10, it's in a slab, it's going to be fine. When that card arrived into the vault, it was scanned. It was not, it was not a PSA 10. Like, that's one of those things ethically I'm fine with. Like I contacted the original seller. I tried to negotiate with them. I don't know. At the end of the day, they're selling a slabbed card. Like I eventually sent it to auction again. I sold it sold for about half what I paid for it because the high quality scan revealed that the card was actually a little bit damaged within the slab. So those kinds of things can happen. That's just an aside. But for the most part, these are cards that I purchased that I intended on holding. And then what I did was turned them into cards I've always wanted to own. That Ichiro is one of them I showed at the very beginning. And then this is another one here. This Jackie Robinson rookie, to me, it's just such a beautiful card. Jackie's beyond an iconic player. There's, great reasons to hold this card forever or for a very long time. I think it'll only increase in value. But I bring it up here for a couple of reasons. One is that some Mike Trout rookies, top set rookies, PSA 10s that I've had for a while, goodbye as an Angels fan a few years ago. Those have appreciated over the last few months in particular to about the same market value as this Jackie Robinson, about $2,500. So what was great about having my Trout rookies in the vault is as I watch the market value of those cards increase, I'm able to pretty much, not quite one for one, but without, especially during COVID, not being able to deal with people in person, like I'm able to pretty much click from my vault and say, okay, scroll to wherever it is, Trout rookie in here, and sell this card list this card at auction so that this card that I just purchased here can, in a sense, not perfectly dollar to dollar, but be sort of traded out. So what having cards in the vault has allowed me to do is sort of like level up and upgrade my collection very similarly to the way I would if I had all these cards in a box or wherever it is that people traditionally kind of store their collection. Like I'm sitting at my desk right now in my office and my feet are surrounded by boxes of cards. Behind me, there are boxes of cards. I have boxes of sealed Panini sticker books and things around me. And it's not a mess. It's organized. It's peaceful. But my point is that for the most part, people store their cards sort of in boxes or sort of in a physical space they can go through. When you're kind of dealing with large volumes of lower dollar value cards, lower market value cards, it's very helpful to do that. You can kind of grab things in bulk. You can sell things as lots. You can move through big chunks of cards back and forth. You can sell sets, whatever it is. When it comes to high value cards, it's really nice to have that possibility exist, like the same convenience of operating with them out of a shoebox or whatever, but digitally and not with the risk of actually, having to store them yourself, if you will. And I'm not too worried someone's going to break into the office and take, this Jackie rookie if I store it instead of at the vault. But what's beautiful is I turned a Topps Update Trout rookie into this, and it was easy to do, as easy as it would be to do, if not easier, as far as my time or fees involved and everything, as it would be to do through a Facebook group or otherwise, which is probably the most cost efficient way to do that, is online through a friends and family transaction. But the higher dollar value cards that you're starting to deal with, the less that you can reliably go through those Facebook groups or sort of friends and family type environments where you're vetted and validated for by a community. Those things are beautiful and wonderful, and I think should always obviously continue to exist, but there is a point where you need to exercise a certain amount of caution or where the ability to keep cards in a vault gives you flexibility, like being in a sort of trusted group community that you're vetted in, but still at a reasonable cost when it comes to fees. So to be able to turn a Trout rookie into this because, in effect, I saw this card come up, I was like, okay, I'm ready to do this. It'll cost me a Trout rookie. Feels a lot more logical and easy to justify and sort of procedurally to go through the process of clicking add Trout card to vault, add, Jackie card will get mailed there, or in this case, sold by PWCC, so move down the hall. And now I have, diversified my collection from multiple Trout rookies of the same card to this gorgeous Jackie card. Another thing I did, which is crazy, is turned 4 Topps Update Trout rookies and a Bowman Chrome Purple Trout rookie, all PSA 10s, into this ridiculous beast of a card. This has probably been my dream card for many, many years. That is, at least as far as Trout goes. And I love the color. I love everything about it. And to me, the ability, because of having my Trout rookies in the vault and having PWCC charge reasonable fees, like for a card this expensive, you're only paying like 7 or 8% or something to sell it. So to me, to sell those Trout rookies, 4 of them, give or take, and turn it into this and not pay too much in fees and pay $0 in sales tax, like I should be able to do the math faster, but $850 in sales tax not paid on this transaction. If that is the type of flipping or consolidating of your investments that you want to be doing, if you want to be doing things like taking 4 Topps Update Trout rookies and turning them into a Walmart blue one, having your cards stored in the vault allows that to be possible the same way that you can do it from a shoebox or anywhere else that you would store your cards. That is how I've used the vault. That's how I have taken advantage of it or found value in it beyond just these storing cards services. And that's why I share these things with you. This is not to say, oh, everyone should be doing this or that this makes the most financial sense for everyone. Like, Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is not my point. If you want to read the review that's on the website, that will be an example to kind of just see an impartial, if you will, overview. This video is intended to share my personal experience of being a Vault customer, of using the service, not just, well, originally to store cards and sort of secondarily to save on sales tax. And then most recently to actually start diversifying my portfolio of investment level cards, vis-a-vis turning smaller cards of high value into one or two even more rare, even rarer cards of even higher value, which personally is part of my investing goal as a sports cards investor. That's what I'm trying to do. What I personally love to do is take my knowledge of baseball in particular and go into the Bowman and Topps flagship products and flip via grading and flip cards that I sell or turn into, a chunk of change that I can put into a card that's probably $1,200, $2,400 or more. Eventually wait for those things to appreciate over time, turn those hopefully into a card that's 8 to 10K or more, and hopefully let that cycle continue. So the Vault service has allowed me to do that in a way that is not really possible with high value cards in other environments that are not, I don't know, it's very unique to the marketplace. To be able to store your cards and mail them to somewhere that's sales tax free is in and of itself an extremely valuable service. The fees that you're charged to store your cards are negligible because every card that you send there should probably appreciate in market value more than the fees by many, many times. And then if you want to change your mind, if you do eventually go, oh, okay, I don't want this card anymore, it's very easy to liquidate. And you don't have to use PWCC. I do because I think the fees are reasonable and it's super easy to just click a button and have that card go to their next round of auctions. But if you want, of course, you can have the card mailed to you, or if you do a private sale and, through a Facebook group or whatever it might be, in person, anything like that, you can just have that card mailed from your vault to anyone at any address. So to not actually have to deal with the cards physically, that's convenient. Of course, it's kind of impersonal as well. Like we can't travel right now because of COVID, but I would really like to go to the PWCC vault. I have family in Oregon. I actually used to live in Portland before Austin, where I'm based now. And I want to go touch this Griffey rookie. I want to go touch this Kobe rookie. I want to hold them in the slab. I want to see this Bowman Chrome Draft Trout. I was given one by my dad as a gift, which I love and is, priceless to me, but it's a PSA 8. And I'm one of those anal people that needs a PSA 10 of things if I'm going to hold them. So I want to go touch more than half these things in my vault that I've never actually had, an interaction with. And there's a few cards, like particularly this Ohtani here, population of 3. It's like one of those, I almost need to be left alone. I need to bond with it. It's, it's that relationship that cards build with humans, people that love to collect and invest, that you are missing when you're going through that experience online. And that is the downside to just doing anything digitally, anything that is, that has a tangible component that cannot be felt through the screen, through pixels. That's something you are missing. But I will definitely say not paying, let's just pretend I spent $17,000 times 0.0875. But not paying almost $1,500 in sales tax that I would have paid to the state of Texas, by keeping these cards in the state of Oregon and sending them there and transacting through those methods. On top of the fact that the larger you grow a collection of investment level cards, the more you are, sticking a box of liability in wherever it is that you store it. I don't necessarily know very, very many collectors or investors that actually use safe deposit boxes. I think I know most people who have some secret stash place that, they keep their goods, but a lot of those places are not necessarily fireproof. Maybe some of them are safes, but they're usually somewhere within, a person's property. So having it be off your property, having it be insured for, at least probably 80% when it goes into the system of what its market value would be at that time. That does give me peace of mind. I don't lose sleep thinking, oh, this is, I'm going to have my cards jacked in the middle of the night, or I'm going to lose them, or something's, going to spill on them, or whatever it might be that people are afraid of. I don't think that you use the Vault PWCC Vault service or any card storage service because there are many that are popping up, and I will definitely be doing more reviews around those types of services. But you don't use them because you're really actually afraid of what's going to happen to your cards. If you have a card at that level, you probably already looked into storage services or something like this a lot earlier. One thing that's funny, I don't know if it's going to show up on the screen here, but if you look at the location drop-down box within the PWCC Vault, there are options that say PWCC Vault followed by Baseball Hall of Fame, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, PSA Beckett SGC, or the PWCC High Value Vault, which tells you the idea or gives you an idea of the types of cards that are stored here. My dinky, in air quotes, $17,000 insured value collection is one really nice vintage card, right? Or it's all perspective. Like, to me, this is a big deal that I own, crazy almost, that I own this much cardboard surrounded by plastic that, has market value. Once you're dealing with cards that are really $1,000 or more, this type of service makes sense. But if you're dealing with cards that are 10, 20K or more, this type of thing is probably essential. So if you are that type of collector and you are considering using the PWCC Vault, hopefully this video gave you an idea of some of the things that are cool about it. To quickly highlight what I don't like, it's that the insured value and the market value are, you can see, often well out of date. This is from April. I'm pleased that number is out of date because it's a lot larger today. Maybe $1,400-$1,500 is what this card would sell for. But it is not a good portfolio tool for those reasons. It's a phenomenal storage tool. The high quality scans are, pretty much unbeaten across the web, at least as far as services I've looked at. And really, that's all you're asking from a vault, or it's all you should be asking from a vault is security. Security, reasonable fees, and easy access to those items if you do need them removed from the vault. And that is all provided in this service. So I think it's a phenomenal service, especially for the value. Most of the time, I forget that it costs money because the cards themselves appreciate so much that I'm always like, oh yeah, an invoice for $18 or something to store all these cards every month. Probably even less than that, actually. It's negligible. If you're trying to build a collection of cards of this caliber, of investment caliber, $1,000 or more a card, or even a few $100, if you have a several $1,000 worth of collection, like the storage fees are negligible, right? It's like paying for hosting when you have a website. Like, just, that's how I would like people to think about it. That's how I think about it, and I think that's the healthy way to think about it. But if you are somebody who wants a more detailed, advanced sort of portfolio analysis, it is not great for that. There are tools out there that are much better for that, and I can't wait to do some reviews around some of those. In fact, I think that's probably the most exciting emerging category of tools in the sports card investing and collecting world are around portfolio management. So we'll have a lot to cover at Sports Card Tech when it comes to that. But until then, thanks for listening. Hopefully this was informative. Go ahead and check out sportscardtech.com to find the full review of the PWCC Marketplace Vault, as well as this video. And if you have any interest in sports cards or technology, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're just getting off the ground, but we are very excited to build a community of people who love sports cards and technology. We have a great Twitter account at Sports Card Tech that's much more established than the YouTube, and also Instagram at Sports Card Tech, Facebook/Sports Card Tech for our page there. And again, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and looking forward to doing this a lot more. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care.